Okay, so imagine trying to build a green future for an entire region. But every single country is using a completely different blueprint. That was the huge challenge facing Southeast Asia. Today, we're going to break down the solution, a shared financial rulebook designed to power that future. It's called the ASEAN Taxonomy for Sustainable Finance.
You know, in a world that's just flooded with claims of sustainability, this is the million-dollar question, right? How do we cut through the noise and separate real, measurable impact from clever greenwashing? For investors, for companies, and for whole countries, the answer has to be absolutely crystal clear.
To get that kind of clarity, a region as incredibly diverse as Southeast Asia needs one thing above all else: a common language, a shared way to define what green actually means in the real world. So, let's dive into what that looks like.
The easiest way to think about this taxonomy is as the official dictionary for green investment. It's a science-based rulebook, making sure that when a company in Jakarta, say, pitches a sustainable project, an investor over in Singapore knows exactly what that means. Everyone is finally on the same page, speaking the same language.
But look, creating one single rulebook for this region is a massive undertaking. I mean, we're talking about 10 countries with totally different economic realities. You've got a global financial hub like Singapore on one end, and on the other, developing nations still building out their basic energy infrastructure. A rigid, one-size-fits-all approach was just never, ever going to work.
So, how do you build a system that's ambitious enough for the leaders, but also inclusive enough for everybody else? Well, the answer is pretty clever. It's a two-tiered structure that's designed to meet every country right where they are on their green journey.
Now this is where it gets really smart. They created this dual framework design. On one side, you have the foundation framework. Think of it like a beginner's guide. It uses broad principles and guiding questions that any country or company can start using right away. On the other side, you've got the plus standard. That's the expert manual. It has super detailed technical screening criteria for the more mature markets that are ready for that level of detail. It's the same goal, just different tools for the job.
Okay, so we've got the structure, but how does it actually classify an activity? Well, it uses a really intuitive traffic light system that pretty much anyone can understand.
First, any project or activity is measured against these 4 big environmental goals. You ask, does it help us fight climate change? Does it help us adapt to the changes that are already happening? Does it protect our vital ecosystems and biodiversity? And finally, does it help us build a circular economy where we're reducing waste and reusing resources?
Once it's been assessed, the activity gets a traffic light rating. It's pretty straightforward. Green is for things making a huge positive impact, like a new solar farm. Red is for activities that cause significant harm, like a new coal plant with no credible plan to shut down. And then there's amber. This one's really important. It's for activities that are in transition. You know, a factory making itself 40% more energy efficient. It's not perfectly green yet, but it's on a credible path to get there. And here's the crucial safety net, the do no significant harm rule. Basically, you can't build a big hydropower dam, which is great for clean energy, if doing so wipes out a critical ecosystem. To get that green label, a project has to do something good for one of those 4 objectives without doing serious damage to any of the others. It's a really important check and balance.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? A nice, elegant system on paper. But what does it actually mean in the real world? Well, this is where we start to see its potential to completely reshape the region's financial landscape.
What's happening is it's creating a much more unified, more efficient market for green finance. Because it's designed to work with national rulebooks, you've got major players like Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines all starting to align their own systems to it. This is a huge deal. It means an investment fund in Bangkok can confidently put money into a green bond from Manila because they know everyone is playing by the same core rules. It just removes so much friction and helps unlock capital.
But this isn't just about picking the easy winners and funding solar farms. Critically, this whole system, especially that amber category we talked about, is designed to guide a fair and orderly transition for the really tough sectors, the ones that can't just flip a switch and become green overnight. And let's be honest, you can't talk about a green transition in Southeast Asia without talking about coal. For a lot of these economies, it's still a major energy source. So simply cutting off all the money isn't realistic, and it's not fair. Instead, the taxonomy provides a credible way to finance the early retirement of coal plants. It helps turn a massive climate problem into a manageable and financeable transition.
So,
At the end of the day, by creating a common language, offering a flexible but still credible path forward, and tackling the toughest challenges head-on, the ASEAN Taxonomy is way more than just a rulebook. It's really a roadmap. A roadmap designed to channel the massive amounts of money needed to build a greener, more prosperous future for all of Southeast Asia. It's about turning all that aspiration into real, tangible action.